Okay guys, it's Friday and I'm just finishing editing a video from Wednesday. Got the springs reworked, okay? I just want to clear something up because people ask me all the time, what's the part number for those springs, okay? So I got the invoice right here, the original invoice. There's no part number on here, it just says 5-inch overstock rear springs. Okay, those are $750 for the springs. What I got on top of that was the Expedition upgrade, supposedly supposed to carry more weight. So that was another $150. And so after installing them and everything, I installed them myself. It was sitting a little lower in the rear, so I had to take them back. So I did take them back and I had them reworked. Unfortunately, it cost me more money. It cost me another it cost me another $225 on top of that. So although on my second time out there, they actually weighed the truck. So if you have a Colorado and you plan on getting these Atlas springs, you might want to figure out how much weight you're carrying before, because the Expedition pack didn't work for me. That's why I had to take them back and rework the springs with a couple more leaves on there. So now it's sitting just right. Just right. I can put a load on there and it's not going to sag anymore. And they worked fine yesterday when I was out on the trail. So just for your information, if you plan on putting these springs on, you might want to consult them that you've seen my video, and you want to make sure it's going to sit right, especially if you're going to be carrying a load. Okay? That's all I want to say. This way you can get the right springs the first time, right? I wish I had a part number or something like that for you, but I don't. This is what I got. Just tell me you want springs like Rude Dog's got on his Colorado. So hey out there guys, it is Wednesday. Just got back from Atlas Spring. Had the springs reworked. Now I took it down there a day before. I talked to Fernando there from Atlas Spring and told him the situation here. He took a look at it. He said, well, first of all, it looks like you're carrying a lot of weight to start with the bumper, the spare, and the shell on there. So he suggested we take a run down to the scales and put it on the scales and see how much it weighs. I'll post that somewhere on here. So then, you know, he got his calculator out and figured things out, and he says, well, yeah, we'll bump those springs up for you because they're actually made for a Colorado, because he has a Colorado. But he's not outfitted like I am, you know. Although he says I got the same setup as you, but I don't know exactly, you know. I told him, hey, besides all this stuff, I'm actually going to carry stuff in here. I'm going to put like, you know, 10 extra gallons of fuel, 10 extra gallons of water, a couple of cases of water, cooler full of, you know, 40 pounds of ice, plus, you know, at least a 30 pack, right? 36er? Tools, food, you know, just, I might get an extra battery for this thing, so anyway, this is what it looks like now. Now it's sitting the way it did when I had the lift blocks on there from Rough Country. It is it is a little stiffer on the road, but I anticipated that, you know. That's the way I want it. It's a little higher in the back than it's supposed to be. It's a truck, you know. Once you put weight in your truck, it will level out. It's a truck. The trucks are originally used for work. You know, they're not made. They're originally not made as an everyday driver. The majority of people these days here in the United States use them as everyday drivers, and the only thing they load back there is maybe groceries. You know, and they want their truck to be level. Why isn't it level? Well, because it's a truck. So, yeah, I'm going to take this truck, you know, probably past the capacity. It's got a 1,500 pound capacity. More than the Tacoma. I think the Tacoma only had a 1,200 pound capacity. I'm happy with it so far, but there's a couple things I want to show you. So first thing is, you know, I like going out hiking, got to get a little exercise and stuff like that. So I figured, you know, I just walk back and forth from the shop. It's a mile and a half away. So this morning I dropped it off, walked home. Walked back at 3:30, got there at 4 o'clock, so I figure that's about a mile and a half. And I think the average person walks 3 miles an hour. So if it only takes me a half hour, it's an hour and a half, right? But you know what? Walking a mile and a half down a major highway or roadway is not the same, or the city streets, is not as enjoyable as actually going out hiking someplace. All the traffic and the noise, and then you got to watch the cars because you're crossing through crosswalks and nobody's watching you, so you got to watch where you're going. You're crossing driveways where there's businesses and people aren't watching you either. So it was a little adventure there. So I got my 3 miles of exercise in a day, and I think it was 89 degrees, so it wasn't too bad. But, so, when I installed these springs, I installed them myself, first of all. And I replaced the U-bolts with some U-bolts from Dorman, 8.5 inches long, which left me maybe 3/4 of an inch extra thread on them. Well, I figured, you know, I wasn't sure exactly what they were going to do to the springs. Were they going to add a couple leaves? You know, I should have plenty of thread on those U-bolts. So when I went to go pick it up, you know, he says, well, he's charging me just for the labor to begin with, okay? He says, well, I gotta charge you for the U-bolts, because we had to put longer U-bolts in there. I'm like, okay, I figured that. So, you know, it came out to like $275 for the whole thing, but after I already paid $800, or more like $900 when you add California tax and all that. But I'm looking at them. They do have more leaves in them. The old leaf pack only had 3 leaves here. This one has 5. Okay. In this section over here, there was I think we're down to 8, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So this is where they added leaves. Okay, so that's cool. I'm looking at the U-bolts over there. They got black paint on them, but they're gold on the bottom. It's pretty unique to the bolts I put in there, the U-bolts I put in. They're a Dorman product. I ordered those on probably Amazon or something. And I have the specifications for them. They are 8 1/8 inch long. I got those look pretty much like my original U-bolts. And he charged me $45 for new U-bolts. Those aren't new U-bolts. I measured them. Those are exactly 8 1/8 inch. They're the same freaking thing. You know, that's why you gotta check these things, people. I thought charging me for labor to add leaves in here was reasonable, but to charge me another $45 on top of that for U-bolts that they didn't change. They're my U-bolts. They're not your U-bolts, you know. Right, bastards. That's why I do a lot of my work myself, because I've seen a lot of this. It's like, you know, if I screw up, well, hey, that's my fault. But when you see stuff like this and I get charged for it, it don't look good.